A series of key developments unfolded across governance, diplomacy, energy, and sports as Pakistan saw activity on multiple domestic and international fronts on Monday, from economic planning and energy relief measures to regional diplomacy and high-stakes test match. The day brought a wide spectrum of updates. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on Monday reviewed the proposed Rs 1.51 trillion public sector development program for fiscal year 2026-27, stressing the need for efficient utilization of development funds and prioritizing sectors demonstrating stronger performance. According to the officials from the Planning Division, the meeting marked the initial round of consultations ahead of the upcoming federal budget, with further discussions expected before the PSDP is finalized during a meeting on the annual development program. Officials said the Prime Minister directed authorities to allocate greater funding to ministries and divisions, showing satisfactory performances, while reducing allocations for departments lagging behind. During the meeting, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif emphasized that public resources should only be invested in projects capable of delivering tangible and measurable outcomes. A statement issued after the meeting said the Premier reviewed the current fiscal year's development spending and discussed proposed schemes for the next PSDP. He reiterated that ministries with better implementation records would receive priority in future allocations. The Prime Minister identified water reservoirs and hydropower projects as key priorities for the government's development agenda, underscoring the importance of enhancing the country's water storage capacity and energy generation infrastructure. Officials briefed the meeting on progress regarding major projects including the Dasu Dam, Daimar Bhasha Dam, and Mohammed Dam. The session was attended by Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Mohammad Ishaq Dar, Planning Minister Ehsan Iqbal, Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb, and other senior officials. Prime Minister Shehbaz also appreciated Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb over the successful launch of Panda bonds and their positive market response. Additionally, he directed authorities to further encourage public-private partnerships for development initiatives. Last year, the government had limited financing for new PSDP projects to just 2% under commitments linked to the IMF's Extended Fund Facility program. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif strongly condemned the reported drone attack on the Barak nuclear energy plant in the United Arab Emirates, calling for immediate restraint from all sides and renewed commitment to diplomacy amid rising regional tensions. In a statement shared on social media platform X, the Prime Minister expressed Pakistan's solidarity with the leadership and people of the UAE, describing the country as a close and fraternal partner. He said Pakistan stands in full solidarity with the leadership and the brotherly people of the United Arab Emirates, reaffirming the long-standing ties between the two nations. The Barak facility, identified as Barak Nuclear Energy Plant, is a key part of the UAE's civilian nuclear energy program and has been central to the country's efforts to diversify its energy mix. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif urged all parties involved in the broader regional situation to exercise maximum restraint and fulfill their obligation under the international law, stressing that escalation would only deepen instability. He further emphasized that dialogue and diplomacy remain the only viable path toward lasting peace, stability, and de-escalation in the region. Pakistan's statement aligns with its consistent diplomatic position, advocating peaceful resolution of conflicts and adherence to international norms. The condemnation comes at a time of heightened sensitivities in the Gulf region, with calls growing for restraint and coordinated international engagement to prevent further escalation. In a separate diplomatic development, Saudi Arabia's ambassador to Pakistan, Nawaf bin Saeed Ahmad Al-Maliki, has lauded Pakistan's continued efforts in promoting regional peace and stability, according to a statement issued by the Foreign Office. The appreciation came during a meeting with Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar in Islamabad on Monday, where both sides reviewed the full spectrum of Pakistan-Saudi Arabia bilateral relations. The discussions focused on enhancing cooperation in political, economic, and strategic domains, reflecting the long-standing fraternal ties between the two countries. According to the Foreign Office, the Saudi envoy praised Pakistan's constructive diplomatic engagement and its role in supporting regional de-escalation efforts amid evolving geopolitical developments. In response, Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar reaffirmed Pakistan's commitment to further strengthening its partnership with Saudi Arabia, emphasizing mutual trust and shared interest between the two nations. The Foreign Office further stated that both sides exchanged views on the recent regional developments and other issues of mutual concern. The meeting also underscored the importance of continued coordination at multilateral forums and sustained dialogue to address challenges facing the wider region. The Water and Power Development Authority on Monday reported a significant surge in hydel electricity generation, stating that it produced over 6,000 megawatts during peak hours on Sunday night following increased water releases from reservoirs managed by the Indus River System Authority. In a statement, WAPDA said that with the increased water indent by IRSA, its hydel power stations collectively supplied 6,118 megawatts to the national grid during peak demand hours. The authority described the contribution as a major boost to the country's electricity supply, particularly at a time of fluctuating energy needs. Providing a detailed breakdown, Wabda said the Tarbela hydropower station generated 2,332 megawatts, while the Tarbela 4th Extension Hydropower Project contributed 1,095 megawatts. The Ghazi Barota Hydropower 1,160 megawatts, followed by Mangla with 930 megawatts. Other contributions included Warsak at 135 megawatts and Chashma at 101 megawatts. The remaining 365 megawatts was generated by various medium and small hydel stations across the country. The authority further highlighted its overall performance in 2025, stating that its 22 hydel power stations collectively produced 33.12 billion units of electricity, accounting for nearly 30% of the national grid's total generation mix. It added that in 2023-24 fiscal year, its plants supplied 34.436 billion units, reflecting an increase of 3.266 billion units compared to the previous year. According to the Ministry of Water Resources, Wabda's total hydropower generation capacity stands at 9,459 megawatts, underscoring the role of hydel energy as a key component of Pakistan's power system. Officials say improved water availability and efficient reservoir management continue to play a critical role in supporting renewable energy output and stabilizing electricity supply during peak demand hours. Separately, the federal government on Monday temporarily exempted shops, markets, and eateries from early closure timings imposed under nationwide energy conservation measures, according to a notification issued by the Cabinet Division and reported by PTV News. The notification, dated May 18, stated that Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif had approved the exemption with immediate effect until May 31st for a range of commercial activities previously restricted under an April 6 directive. The exemption applies to shops, departmental stores, markets, shopping malls, bakeries, restaurants, and grocery stores across the country. The early restrictions had been introduced as part of the efforts to conserve energy amid rising global fuel prices linked to the US-Israeli war on Iran. Under the April 6 order, markets across Pakistan, except in Sindh, were required to close by 8 p.m., while wedding halls, restaurants, bakeries, and other eateries were directed to shut by 10 p.m. Sindh later implemented similar measures on April 10th, ordering markets and shopping malls in Karachi and other divisional headquarters to close by 9 p.m. Essential services including pharmacies, hospitals, fuel stations, bakeries, and standalone tandoors were exempted. Restaurants and food outlets in the province were permitted to operate for dinner service until 11:30 p.m., while wedding halls could remain open until midnight. The easing of restrictions follows a broader rollback by provincial governments over the past week. Punjab was the first to suspend the timings after protests by traders and appeals from shopping mall associations and the public. The province relaxed the restrictions until June 1st, a move later mirrored by Balochistan, while Sindh and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa withdrew the limits without specifying an end date. Veteran batter Mushfiqur Rahim produced a masterclass innings as Bangladesh set Pakistan a massive target of 427 runs to win the second test after dominating proceedings on day 3 in Sylhet on Monday. Bangladesh were bowled out for 390 in their second innings, with Mushfiqur scoring a brilliant 137 and sharing a crucial 123-run partnership for the fifth wicket with Lyndon Das, who contributed 69. The innings was built on patience and resilience as the host extended their advantage beyond Pakistan's reach. The 39-year-old Mushfiqur rolled back the years to register his 14th Test century, surpassing Mominul Haq's national record of 13 centuries for Bangladesh. His knock, featuring controlled aggression and sharp shot selection, anchored Bangladesh's innings after a brief middle-order wobble, starting the day at 110 for 3. With a 156-run lead, Bangladesh lost captain Najmul Hussain Shanto early, but Mushfiqur and Lytton steadied the innings and kept the scoreboard moving. Lytton, fresh from the first innings century, looked set for another big score before falling to Hassan Ali. Lower order resistance came from Tajul Islam, who added valuable runs alongside Mushfiqur before Pakistan's bowler wrapped up the innings. Spinner Sajid Khan eventually dismissed Mushfiqur after a marathon effort that brought him his 8th Test century since 2022. Pakistan were briefly forced to face 2 overs before stumps, reaching safely without loss but staring at a historic chase. The highest successful 4th inning chase in Test history remains at 418 by West Indies against Australia in 2003. While Pakistan have never chased more than 377, Pakistan bowling coach Umar Gul remained optimistic, saying his side would fight on and insisting that disciplined partnerships could still make the target achievable. Bangladesh spinner Tajul Islam, however, warned that the pressure of a record chase could weigh heavily on the visitors. Pakistan will now require their highest ever successful run chase to level the series, setting up tense final 2 days in Sylhet. From policy decisions to diplomatic exchanges and sporting drama, Monday's developments highlighted a day of significant activities across governance, international relations, and energy sectors. The mix of economic planning, regional diplomacy, and on-field intensity reflects the wide-ranging challenges and engagements facing the country.